Joining us now, live via Skype on Comic Book Now, is Arrow's Talia al Ghul herself, Lexa Doig. Lexa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, I have some questions, but first of all, Talia is best known to maybe the wider audience for her portrayal in The Dark Knight Rises, where she totally slept with Bruce Wayne and then almost literally stabs him in the back. I'm wondering, would you say this is just giving Talia a bad rap, or you think Marion Cotillard's portrayal is influencing you at all?
To be honest with you, and I hope this doesn't get me in any trouble, but I actually didn't see The Dark Knight, so I didn't actually see Marion Cotillard's portrayal.
Well, I just spoiled the whole movie for you. The whole movie.
I think I've seen a lot of it in meme form. I got to be honest. But no, I don't think it gave Talia a bad rap. I think Talia's kind of a complex character who sort of lives in the gray zone of morality. She's not good or bad necessarily.
Now, the big mystery of this season of Arrow has been Prometheus' identity, right? So the coming attraction for next week's episode shows you telling Oliver that Chase is Prometheus. Now, I'm wondering, have you had a chance to work with Jason Segura yet? And have you told any lies throughout the season, maybe saying you didn't know Prometheus' identity?
Maybe.
Oh, busted.
I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say I may or may not have signed an NDA and don't want to get in any trouble with the CW or Steven. No, I'm kidding. They've actually been really generous and awesome with me. And the truth is, I wasn't lying when I said that the days that I was filming that Prometheus was in, there's no name on the call sheet. There's no actor that was assigned to Prometheus. So nobody really necessarily, if upon just reading a call sheet, would be able to tell who Prometheus is.
Right.
So I kind of maybe just wasn't entirely honest about what I knew, and whether or not I've worked with Josh, you'll have to watch the show.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. We don't want to see Talia die just because you went out telling the secrets.
Yeah, no. I really like playing her.
We like seeing her, and she's really become a mentor in training Oliver. But what do you think Talia brings to Oliver's training that his previous mentors haven't? Because he's had some really cool trainers in the past, but she seems to be bringing something different to the table. What do you think that is?
I think what Talia's bringing to Oliver is the whole idea of an alter ego. What I thought was interesting, that isn't necessarily established through the writing, but what I thought would make kind of a little bit more of an interesting choice for me to play as an actor, when I was looking at some of the old episodes of Arrow, where you meet Roz and you meet Nyssa, is that there's they kind of operate on the periphery of society in the shadows, with the League of Assassins and everything. That to me, it was a far more interesting choice to place Talia, at least mentally, in the real world as well. You're just as likely to see her sitting in a boardroom orchestrating a hostile takeover of a corporation as you are, in leather firing arrows at people and slicing somebody across the neck. That's kind of what she's teaching Oliver to do, right? Is to sort of have almost a split identity, or to separate the vigilante part of himself, or that hero part of himself from how he has to live in the real world. And I think that's probably why that's a good final step for him before he goes back to Starling City, is for somebody like Talia to sort of help guide him in that way.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool that you get to be the one who kind of put this Green Arrow persona on him almost. But now that we've seen Talia pop up in modern day, I have to ask, does she know that Oliver is responsible for her father's deaths? Is that something she's aware of yet?
I think there's very little that Talia doesn't know. Okay. I think she just keeps her cards very close to her chest. I don't want to spoil anything, but
tell us all of it. Tell us.
All of it. Yeah, all of it. No. I think you kind of just have to wait one more episode to get all of the information that I'm just not allowed to talk about at this point.
I'm excited about that. That is Wednesday can't come soon enough. But will we get a sense of what Talia's relationship with Raish and Nyssa was like at some point? Is that part of what you're teasing here?
A little bit. I think there's just some explanation, because of course, with the introduction of a character like Talia, is that my cat's, there he goes. Sorry. But with a character like Talia, especially with an introduction in season 5, is it? Or are they into season 6? Season 5.
Season 5.
I'm good.
Your stuff.
Is that, having met other members of the Al Ghul family before and Talia never being mentioned, there's sort of, I think it kind of begs an explanation a little bit. You do get, a bit of that explanation.
Someone's feeling a little left out in the family. And I've
Yeah.
talked to Katrina Law, actually, who, as you know, plays Nyssa, about this previously on Comic Book Now. And she says there's definitely some unfinished business between the family there. If they do come face to face, now this is spoiler free, this is just your perspective, knowing the character better than any of us do. What do you think that face-to-face encounter between Nyssa and Talia would be like?
I think violent. I think it would probably be fairly violent. It's kind of hard to say because I will say this, my personal take on Talia is that she has her own moral code. It makes absolute sense to her. And I think, but it's not something that she would necessarily project onto anyone or expect anyone else to either A, understand or live by. However, within her family, I think there is a certain amount of understanding or expectation because that's where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So Nyssa is family, and there are reasons why they're not obviously in contact or close from the time that you've seen the Al Ghul family on Arrow before, but family is still family. They come first in a lot of ways.
I'm ready for the
They're
girl
also the
fight.
ones that you fight with the worst, right?
That's true. It could get messy. I don't want to see anybody pulling anybody's hair in there, but the swords, that's kind of dangerous stuff. But Lexa, thank you.
Hair pulling.
Lexa, thank you so much for joining us on Comic Book Now. This has been a blast. I'm really looking forward to seeing you come back on Arrow next week. It's going to be really cool.
Me too. Thank you for having me.